My expectation was not really knowing what to expect.
Came in and blown away for how much music here, culture and stuff like that.
I guess I just felt like it's just going to be a bit of an adventure, open to something new. I'm going to learn something.
I wasn't expecting as much as what I've seen today.
What I found was that it was more than just two-tone.
I saw quite a few names for bands that were of the past before the ska two-tone time.
Coventry was pretty much hinged on two-tone as a music town, but there's so much more than that, and there's so much more to the background of Coventry through the music.
Going back to where it all first started at the very start, down to the Roman occupation.
The Roman occupation, and this is sort of pretty much everything that I've been able to find out about pre-pop, if you like.
That really fascinated me because I knew it had to start somewhere, but I didn't think it would be that far back.
Having sung in choirs before, I found it quite interesting seeing the older manuscripts of Coventry Carol.
The diversity of music that I found looking at the exhibition is fantastic. I didn't realise, I'd never really thought about the fact that there's so much diversity.
I didn't know very much about Coventry's music history before I went to the museum. But going there and seeing how beautifully everything was laid out and the rich history of music that the city had, it was really motivating for this project and seeing what kind of a canon we were joining in terms of Coventry's music. And as the first meeting point for this project, it was a great place to be and for ideas to start springing forth.
Just fascinated with the amount of stuff they've got in here.
I think what impressed me the most about the museum is Pete and Judy's dedication to preserving this history. And I think that was actually the most motivating thing, that even though I didn't know much about the history, that it meant so much to other people. And that made me, want to find out more about it and come to respect that, in a similar way that they always have.
Well, it's starting off quite interestingly, really. Lots of lively debate going on about music, which is always a good thing. Obviously, our lives revolve around music, so to hear people getting very impassioned about talking about their music and their likes and all the rest of it is pretty good. So it looks as though when we move away from the museum and next week we get into the actual recording, I think it's going to be very interesting. I can't wait to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, I didn't really know what to expect. I've watched a few interviews and a few videos, and I heard the track that was done by the previous group. So I was, intrigued.
Funny enough, seeing the different age range of the people in the room, I thought this is going to be really good, because it's like you got people who are from different generations coming together to put something together. So I thought, this is going to be good. But a bit nervous though, because you don't know what the outcome is going to be.
I knew it was going to be a cool project where everyone was going to bring their musical ideas and their background and just kind of come up with something that speaks about Coventry, but it's also original. And so it was really, I didn't know really how it was going to be, but I knew I wanted to be involved. Yeah.
I had no preconceptions. It was just like, well, show up, see what's happening. I was thinking, well, we're going to get together a bunch of people. I didn't know how many, and we just sit around and kind of exchange ideas and come up with some musical content. It's a very collaborative environment, so everybody felt welcome. I felt welcome. I think other people as well. And it was a chill, relaxed environment that I think was, helped kind of foster the creativity. And so I thought it was pretty easy going, to sum it up in a sentence.
When I walked in, I was so nervous. I was like, oh my gosh. And then I got up and then I saw all these people. And then I saw you, and I think talking to you was like very helpful as well, because it kind of eased my nerves a bit as well, yeah.
Listening to it, it just gives you that sense of belonging, which I think Coventry has got. Coventry is because I've lived in so many different places, but Coventry just gives you that sense of belonging, and that for me, personally, that's what the track gives me. Belonging to a group, belonging to a place. That's what I get from, actually that's what I get from the project itself, that sense of belonging.
So I emailed people yesterday after I'd heard the penultimate take and said I found it emotional. And I still do, because it's almost like a response to Ghost Town, which was a fine piece of music, one of the best to emanate from the city, but it was negative in some aspects, and there's not a negative ion in any of My Town on a Friday Night. It's all positive, promoting the city as the real Coventry.
In terms of the actual music, I really like the piece that's come out. Everyone's said it's got so many different styles that have come together into it that it just sounds really good, and I'd be happy to let people hear it. And also, I feel we've connected as a group as well. So a lot of us are thinking about if we can get something done together after the project, seeing if we can meet up at a more regular basis, because we just seem to click. And I'm really glad about that. I've been looking for some sort of creative outlet, and this has been perfect.
I love it. I didn't think we could make that, especially with like obviously at the start I just saw these new faces, too many different genres, how is it going to work? And then we come up with that. And I think the organ piece, the every so often, I think that really ties it together. I feel like that was the one thing. I mean, it was good before, but then with that organ, it really adds a different vibe to it, especially in the instrumental. I think that's really good. And our bass guitar, I love that part. It's like a really good transition, which Andrew does, which I really love, and he knows I love it, because I'm like, oh my God, Andrew.
Both the bass player and the guitarist, I thought the two of them were in a band together, but they were not. They said that's the first time they've met.
That actually surprised me. So I didn't realise he thought that we were in a band together. Obviously, everyone in the group has just got along so well that it must have seemed that we've been playing for years.
But there was a kind of chemistry between the two of them, so it was easier for me to just lay down very simple percussion, to just keep it going, just keep the beat going. Yeah, it was really good, really good.
I had never written with other people before. I hadn't collaborated on writing songs, and so it actually started coming about. The song that we ended up with started coming about very organically, just jamming in the studio. You know, somebody on drums, somebody with the guitar, somebody with the bass, and just through their interactions, trying things out, just jamming, just enjoying and trying to come up with interesting melodies and rhythms.
I didn't want to make it too busy from a drumming perspective, although personally I like to hear that the drums played well. The song didn't really call for anything too spectacular from the drums, so just tried to keep it simple and just sort of play for the song, and for the other musicians, for the vocals to sit on top of and accompany them, really.
What was nice is that it was a very safe space to suggest anything or try something out, and everyone was generous with their time, and we're all volunteering, but everyone was generous enough to try everyone else's ideas and just see what worked, because there are no rules right here. No one was pretending to know what they're doing or be dogmatic about it. It was just about seeing what the group comes up with, and whatever we liked, we all wanted to go forward with.
being the only girl, I was, as I said, very scared. But it was fun. It was really fun. And I got so much more out of it than I have in my past, like 18 years. And I learn a lot. I'm a very open person to learning, and I don't think I've learned anything quite like as much as I've learned on these five days. And even if it's not actual, you know, how textbook kind of stuff, it's still skills that I'm going to need for the rest of my life. And I've made some good friends as well. So that was fun as well.
I think it's really been good for me. I'm always happy to admit the fact that I'm not the most sociable person. I find human interaction kind of intimidating. Yet coming here has really opened, I feel like I've opened up a bit with the people here, and it's just been a great place to flex my creative muscle, which I've not been doing enough of.
I hope projects like this keep going on, not only for us, but for other young and upcoming musicians, to show that you don't have to live in places like London or other bigger cities, but just here in Coventry, you can achieve your dream. That's what I would love to say.